You're listening to the Bastards of Boston Baseball. I'm your host, Charlie Smith. You can find me on Twitter/X at Smith_MLB. My co-host for this one, Terry Cushman at CushmanMLB. If you want more Bastards of Boston Baseball content, check out bastardsofbostonbaseball.com. Before we begin, just a disclaimer, we do have some audio issues and visual issues, and those crickets in the background, they might just be related to Craig Breslow and where he's going to be headed after a wonderful 2026 campaign. The Boston Red Sox dropped their first game against Atlanta 3-2 in extras. It's the fourth time in the last 5 that they've lost, and it only looks to be getting worse. Only once over the last 6 games has this team scored more than 2 runs. Absolutely atrocious. Terry, what is your first takeaway?
My first takeaway is if Jarren Duran was at least 7% as cool as Joe DiMaggio, maybe Simon and Garfunkel would write a song with his name in one of the lines. But he's not. But nobody knows where Jarren Duran has gone. Woo, woo, woo. And I mean, 3 for his last 37, 0 for his last 16. 0 for his last 13 since he deleted his Instagram. So, which didn't help. Nothing is helping is what I'm getting at here. And nobody wants to see Roman Anthony on the injured list. You know, it's in everybody's best interest that he's in the lineup every day, hopefully digging out of this early season sophomore slump. But to Jarren Duran, that was an opportunity. And that put him back in the leadoff spot. It's giving him more at bats. He's basically been in the lineup every day. And he's gotten worse. He hasn't parlayed this opportunity of every day at bats to dig his way out of it. So I don't know. It's getting hard to defend him. And then tonight he does get on base. I think that was a walk, if I'm not mistaken. And they tried to pick him off like 4 or 5 times, and then they actually got him. You would think he wouldn't be screwing around. If they're that intent on trying to get him, okay, don't take a big lead here. And it's just, it couldn't be any worse for Jarren Duran. And I have been his biggest defender on this crew, and it's getting hard. It's getting hard. And I put a tweet out earlier. He might just need a tougher manager. There's nothing tough about Chad Tracy from what I've seen. I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, so I can't say for 100% certainty, but it looks like a similar daycare setting that Alex Cora ran. And I just wonder what a Jarren Duran would do with an Aaron Boone type manager who would get in his face, with a David Ross type guy. You know, I know he's not managing anymore, but Buck Showalter, I just wonder how much different he would be with that type of leadership.
Also said that weren't and whatnot, but I mean, if fans are going to chirp, I have no complaints about you chirping back. They say something stupid, you want to flip the bird, go for it. I mean, is it going to make you look great? No. But right now, you are not looking like a saint. And I feel bad for Jarren Duran right now. I don't know if somebody, not his fault, but somebody that struggles with potential maybe still mental health issues. Who knows? I don't know if somebody who comes from the Buck Showalter School of Baseball or the Aaron Boone School of Baseball would work well with somebody like Jarren Duran. It actually might get worse because you go hard on somebody that's struggling. They think that they've hit rock bottom and then they haven't. So I don't know if something like that would get better. But I would ask him, like, do you want to be here or do you want to go somewhere else? Do you want to play baseball for another team? And maybe it really is just a change of scenery, which if he asks for a trade, it would gut me, but I wouldn't blame him. And I hope he'd be able to re-find himself because, speed of the tools is usually the one that goes away the fastest, right? You're not going to keep your speed at the age of 38, 39. That's what he's known for, speed. Defense, not really. On base, yes. Power, no. But speed, definitely. So you lose your speed, you lose that ability to get on base a little bit more. Your defense won't be fantastic, but it'll be okay. No one's ever thought that Jarren Duran was going to be a 30 home run guy. But I mean, it's getting more difficult game in, game out to make excuses for somebody who's just not getting it done. And there are players on here that have been here for shorter periods of time. Some may even think shouldn't even be here, and they're doing a job that is more adequate than you. So it sucks to say it. If Jaron were here, he'd probably slap me in the face, just be like, F you or whatever. But like, dude, you have a gift that I never had, right? I would love to be able to be a ball player. I'm not, right? I mean, high school and college are great, but it doesn't translate to the same thing in the majors. This is a guy that does have a lot of talents, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's just not working right now.
So again, just one last disclaimer: like you are literally hearing crickets because we've had to use an alternate location for Charlie, and it's just you got to have either terrible audio or crickets. It's just for tonight. We're gonna do the best we can on Sunday when he makes his normal start. So soldiering through it, and I do have some more takes, but here's an energy drink here for the YouTube crowd. It's a pear ginger. My girlfriend says I'm not going to like it, and 99% of the time she's right. So let's just all find out together.
Well, I'm having a drink myself because it was unbearable. Like watching the Red Sox play today, brutal. Your take, Terry?
She is absolutely correct. I am not taking another sip. I do because I knew it was going to be a spicy show. This is like an old guy drink, but V8
Oh, nice. There
hot.
you go. Spicy hot
Uh,
V8. Look at
I
you.
love it. I love it. And I love the spicy so much I can't even drink regular V8 anymore. But I'll save that for when you're giving your take. But if you look at Jarren Duran's save on chart, he's pretty mid. I mean, his barrel rate maybe a little above average. Exit velo is about painfully average. His where's the hard hit rate? Below average. The only thing that's truly elite on his chart is his bat speed. So I'm willing to venture to guess here that it probably is a mechanical thing. It's probably a mindset thing. But we're a quarter of the way through the season. And if we're going to pretend that maybe we can claw our way back in a wild card, and I think we are just pretending, but, you know, just because we're not always right, you need him to figure it out fast. And here's the other downside. This is what makes it so painful. You went from a borderline possible blockbuster trade centered around him to him just being the second or third piece in whatever trade he will eventually end up in. It's that bad. Like you not only did you miss a big opportunity, but you ruined the player and you destroyed his value.
Saying who's been, I mean, next to nothing, and people can say, "Oh, you should trade Duran." What would you get for Duran if you traded him? Nothing. You wouldn't get anything for him. This is a buy low guy. I want to take Jarren Duran off your hands. Here's some scrap heap players, and maybe one of them will hit. There are 29 other teams right now that would be able to do more with Jarren Duran than the Boston Red Sox. I mean, minimum 25 teams would be able to do more with Jarren than the Boston Red Sox can. Maybe not everybody, but almost everybody can. And this is an unbearably bad product to watch. It's so bad. You can almost tell what's going to happen before it happens, unless you're baseball Jesus watching the Red Sox play, because it's lethargic baseball play, stupid mistakes. I mean, ungodly, awful errors, whether it be base running or fielding. It's just There's nothing special about this team. It sucks. It just sucks. I would not look at this team and say, yes, there is a more than 50% chance that they could take out of 10 series, 3 of them. I don't think we could take 3 out of 10 series. This team is that bad.
Well, we have the Twins coming up. I mean, if you're looking for a potentially easy team, that's it. I don't think the previous series
We
went
could
too
still get
well.
dominated by them, though. I mean, that's the thing. This is
Uh,
do not be surprised by this stuff. Like that's all I'm going to say, Terry. I mean, we've swept teams that we probably shouldn't have swept over the last couple of years. Like our team is it's not serious. But we've also gotten worked against teams that are like the worst in baseball. We shouldn't be losing to Houston. We shouldn't be losing to Chicago, and yet they're working us. Doesn't make any sense.
and I just wonder, like, that's probably an ever-present fear in Breslow's mind. Like, what if I do trade him and then he ends up being a stud leadoff hitter for whatever team he goes to? Maybe he's going to be an October hero for them. Like, it's just more egg on the face. Last night on social media, I posted that Jordan Hicks this season in 2026 has been scoreless in 14 out of 17 appearances, including his last 9 straight. In his last outing, which was the night before last, maybe he pitched tonight. I haven't looked at any box scores, but on Wednesday night, he did give up a hit, but he struck out 3 batters in that inning. And so, I mean, you took the L there, taking a major L right now with Kyle Harrison. He might have a sub-2 ERA without looking. Either way, he's been impressive. Everybody's been impressive that we've traded, and we've ruined everyone that we've kept just about. Even Wilson Contreras cooling off, your best hitter. Now I think Wilyer Abreu is the best hitter on the Red Sox right now. And he might get MVP votes. I mean, the dude misses nothing in the outfield, and lately he's just been ripping some singles, but they were timely hits, to advance the base runners, and he's just looking like a much better all-around hitter versus that grip it and rip it guy, of the last few years.
So
But there's not much to speak of here.
Jordan Hicks also hasn't given up a home run this year. I don't remember how many home runs he gave up as a member of the Red Sox last year, but I remember being really frustrated watching him hit a batter, hit 2 batters. Now the bases are loaded, and all they need is a sac fly. He strikes out a batter, gets a line out, and then we lose on a rip up the middle or something stupid. Like he was a lock for just getting absolutely blown up. And here's the thing, Kyle Harrison, to your point, 5 innings, 5 hits, struck out 7. The Boston Red Sox are just straight fleecing or getting fleeced, excuse me. Every single trade we make, it backfires. That sound in the background is what's going
Crickets.
in. Yeah. Crickets. That sound, that's what you hear in the front office in Boston. Nothing. Zero. Absolute disaster class. That is what you're getting with this front office. We are so far back now. It's going to take us several years to get out of this hole. And at that point, you will have wasted Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, who at this point aren't on the field or aren't looking great. Now, Marcelo Meyer had a solo home run. That's great. No ducks in the pond. We still lost the game. It sucks. But all the players that you put all your eggs in the baskets of, they're not translating to the success that we thought they were going to bring. On top of the fact that you have aging stars, Trevor Story, not doing nearly enough. You already mentioned Wilyer Abreu. He has moments of cooling off and getting hot, cooling off and getting hot. I'm not gonna poo-poo him or Sadon really. They make little blippy mistakes every once in a while, but the problem is every one of those blippy mistakes could be the game for us. It's curtains for this team this year. There's no coming back. It is May 15th. We are only going to get worse. Our record, if you look at it from Like our run prevention unit, which we've talked about before. Last time that you and I were together, I said that the Red Sox, there's a chance we go 1-5. And right now, we're 1-3. We're 2 losses away from fulfilling that prophecy. This team has scored one more run than the worst scoring team in the American League. Remember that the Red Sox scored 17 runs in one game earlier this year. Subtract that ninth inning total, right? You're now the second worst team in all of baseball in runs scored. You're that much of a joke. You've scored one more run than the Texas Rangers this year. They're a better run prevention team than you are. And if you look at it on paper overall, you subtract that 10 spot, only the Giants, who are abysmal this year, have scored less runs than you. It's embarrassing. This is just an embarrassing team. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just imagine what the worst team that you've ever seen is. Then, add a little bit of distance. Then you put the Boston Red Sox. That's where we are. This team could feasibly continue to blow it to new proportions. And here's the thing, guys. You're seeing what happens with injuries, right? To your starting rotation. Some of them have come back. They've done great. You're not scoring runs. Pitching really does win ball games, right? But you can't win if you don't score either. And that's what's happening right now. This team just can't score.
Jules in the chat stream here on YouTube, he's having a night. He says Abreu is a clown. WTF are you watching your tablet? I just double checked the stats. He is hitting 310, 385 on base, and off the charts OPS plus 146. So I don't know. I noticed you're drinking a Modelo, Charlie. Maybe Jules is having something a little bit more potent, and I will give him a pass. But a couple other notes tonight. I didn't realize Sandy Leone was on the Atlanta Braves, and I didn't know we were
crazy, right?
We were about to get humped all night long by Sandy Leone. He guns that. I don't know why Mickey Gasper is running. He runs slower than Mickey Mouse, and he tried stealing second, was out by a mile, and then Rafaela for some reason wanted third despite being in scoring position.
So dumb.
Sandy guns him down because he felt like it. And I think it was the pitcher that got Duran out in the first inning, but Sandy took a couple of shots at him too. And I don't know. I'm a Sandy Leone apologist until I die. But
I don't know
yeah,
why, but
crazy.
Here we are.
Crazy that he's in there. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give him props for that.
Wait, Terry, before you continue, did you hear during the game, they were talking about how the Atlanta Braves right now is the current team that houses the most former Red Sox. They got Perez in there. They got Sandy Leone in there. I'd have to look at their bullpen. I'm sure
Chris
there's another
Sale.
guy in there.
Don't forget that one.
I don't want to talk about Chris Sale. I will get so pissed. Here we go. There's one, Jason. I told you today was going to be spicy. It really does piss me off too. Okay. It is infuriating because I've been saying that for the longest time, this team has begun the downward spiral as soon as they made that trade. When they traded Chris Sale to the Atlanta Braves, he proceeds to win the Triple Crown, Cy Young, for a player that didn't play one effing game in Boston, has since gotten traded. It's just, we're that dumb. We're a dumb run team. We're run by morons. And we're owned by an idiot who just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. No other owner in Major League Baseball has had a plane fly over their stadium with a sign or a tagline that says, sell the team. John, wake up, wake your wife up, both of you, and everyone else that you're entrusting to run this team, and figure it the bleep out, because this is unreal. Don't tell me you don't have the money, because we know you do. You flaunted all the other teams that you've invested your money in. Cut the bullshit. Start spending money. Be the Boston Red Sox. Like, stop this madness. I'm going to get incensed.
So a couple nights before Cora got fired, or maybe it was the night before. No, it would have been 2 nights. We got swept by the Yankees. I was refreshing on Twitter thinking he could get fired. It's possible he could get fired. And as it turned out, it took place 48 hours later. But like my radar was up. I'm like, it could happen soon. If the Red Sox have a bad road trip here, and it's already not gotten off to a good start, I'm wondering if Craig Breslow could be fired by the time we start our next homestand. And
No way would we get that lucky. And then here you go. What individual takes the role of Craig Breslow with Breslow being gone?
well, there'll be an interim guy. They'll just pick whoever they trust. There'll be an interim guy, but Breslow will go. But here's the thing. Boston or Fenway Park is burning right now. It's absolutely burning. And there'll be people out there that'll say, "Oh, Breslow's doing exactly what Henry wants and blah blah blah. He's not going anywhere." John Henry doesn't want fans of his team sitting behind home plate with paper bags over his head.
How embarrassing was that? How
Security
embarrassing.
security beelined it down there and confiscated those. Okay. That's not good. You just mentioned the plane that flew over Fenway Park, which I think was funded by Underdog Sports. That was the logo on the banner that was being towed by the plane. But those are bad optics. You can't find a radio station in Boston that says nice things about the Boston Red Sox. Even the Nesson post game. This is not what John Henry wants. And I don't think there's a world where you can trust Craig Breslow to start selling and hopefully acquiring some pieces at the deadline. He cannot be trusted to do it. So the sooner he goes, the better. And the sooner John Henry pulls that trigger, the calmer things will get. Because at least Cora's gone, at least Breslow's gone. And so I just think it could happen. Nothing's changed since Cora's been fired. We're not hitting better. Nothing is better except for maybe the starting pitching. But we're embarrassingly a last place team with a $263 million payroll. And some people will come at me and say, no, it's really 190 because of the average annual value. Some guys are in the cheaper years of their contract, so they're only really spending like 190 this year. Fine, okay. But we're over the luxury tax. And I'd be surprised if Breslow's still here in 30 days. Let's put it that way. And it could be much sooner. I'm just speculating. I have no sources. Gut feeling.
Before the loss today, we were a 500 baseball team on paper, right? Like we were 8-8, and we lost tonight. Now we're 8-9 with an interim manager. I don't think it would matter who you had as manager for this team. They're losing this season. And honestly, this might be the best thing for the Boston Red Sox so that in 2028, they can wake the bleep up, invest some money in some offense because you're going to need it. This is just an awful product. And you know what? People wearing paper bags over their head, you think that's the biggest concern? John, do you know how empty your stadium was for a packed event known as a Red Sox game? Have you been watching? There's a lot of empty seats there. One of our co-hosts canceled his season tickets because it's not worth it for him to drive all the way up to Boston to watch an L. I would rather bend over and get spanked with something with spikes on it. That's basically what sounds more appealing than that. Okay. And you know what? I feel bad for young Red Sox fans that have to watch this product because they're going to watch this and be like, this isn't fun. It's not fun to cheer for a loser. And that's what we are right now. We are losers. We are the new Chicago Cubs. I was walking my dog with my Red Sox hoodie on, and a guy came up to me and he said, Red Sox fan? And in my brain, I'm like, no shit, I'm a Red Sox fan. Duh. And his immediate response was, I'm sorry. And I laughed and I was like, yeah, you a Red Sox fan? He goes, Yankees fan. I go, I'm sorry too. He goes, yeah. And that's just how it is right now. Our teams are just not that good. But at least the Yankees are doing what they can to put a proper product out on there. We are not doing it. I did not think in a million years that my wearing a Red Sox hoodie was going to get a response of, I'm sorry. That's how bad it is. People are saying I'm sorry. They feel bad for fans now because this isn't going to end. It's not going to end until they fix the stupid and they fix the suck. That means Breslow's gone, but we're not smart enough to get rid of him. I don't know if canning Alex Cora and his team was going to send the right message because personally, Breslow, I don't want to see him anywhere near any Major League Baseball team ever. This guy is so bad, putrid, awful, and no one likes him. This is the kid that nobody wanted to talk to in school, probably had trouble sharing. You know, that's what I get the vibe of Craig Breslow. He's just infuriating. Just insane.
He's an extremely unlikable guy. I mean, he fired that scout last year who called him an effing stiff. He thought the Zoom thing had ended, but it hadn't, and Breslow heard it, and then he fired him. And there's just been so many instances of him not being likable. When Alex Cora was fired, I forget which player demanded an answer for it. It may have been Trevor Story. I'm not positive though.
Trevor Story did. Yeah, correct. And he was benched the
And
next game.
And then Breslow said, he goes, you're here to make money or you're here to play baseball or something. Don't worry about it. That's what we're paying you for, essentially. And, I mentioned this at the time, but it's not like Craig Breslow's been an office nerd his whole life. He's been a player. He's traveled with a baseball team for 162 games a season for probably a decade or so. He should know how to talk to players. He's just so unlikable and so arrogant. And you're right. Yeah, he was on that 2013 World Series team.
He's won it. He knows what a team that's supposed to, that can win looks like. This isn't it. Do better.
And he's just shot himself in the foot time after time. He traded Devers, got fleeced 2 or 3 times over on the pieces that he got that are now thriving elsewhere. I haven't heard much about James Tibbs lately, but I'm guessing he's not doing terrible. Got off to a hot start. But it can't come any quicker. Nobody likes Craig Breslow. Josh Beckett, who I think may have been his teammate in 2012 before the salary dump trade. Don't quote me on that, but he was the one that told Rob Bradford what ended up becoming a famous quote. Firing Cora is like shitting your pants, but changing your shirt. Just nobody respects that guy. And John Henry just this week was in the owner's box. Craig Breslow normally is in there. Maybe he just wasn't in the camera shot. I don't know. But Henry appeared to be stressed. Like he was kind of leaning down. He was holding I got a hat on, but he was holding his head, in the palm of his hand. And, and I don't know, maybe he just wasn't feeling well. Maybe it had nothing to do with the team. I mean, who really knows? But he didn't look like he was enjoying a night out at the park. And so I don't know how much longer they wait to do it, but I think it could be at the start of the next homestand because how big of a revolt do you want to see from your own fan base by not taking action when it's inevitable that you will
Right.
eventually take that action anyway.
The ugly thing about it is that the signs have been there, the flags have already been raised, and still nothing has gotten done. That's what I find infuriating. You have the time. You see what's going on, and you as the owner of this storied franchise, you're embarrassing every tarnishing the generations and owners before you all by yourself. It's like, honestly, yeah, I don't blame Josh Beckett for saying what he said because he's absolutely right. It's like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. No shit. Absolutely right. I absolutely think he's right by that. And they were teammates in 2012. Josh Beckett got traded to the Dodgers as part of that crazy deal. It was was it? I'm not looking at it. Beckett. It was Beckett. They got Gonzalez. I think Crawford was a part of that one too. And
Nick
was it Nick
Punto.
Punto? Yeah, Nick
Yeah.
Punto. And we got James Loney and two
And
other pieces.
Alan Webster.
Oh yeah, that was going to save us. It was just a massive salary dump, just insanity. And this is just, you know, Boston Red Sox making just dumb moves. And here's the thing too. I don't know. Here if Breslow doesn't get fired before the All-Star break, you only got a couple months to go, and that's a long leash, which he's had the longest of leashes as a GM. He's going to keep his job this year. And honestly, if John Henry is still as stupid as everybody thinks he is right now, there's a chance Breslow's back in 2027 if there's a season. It's just like, how much more do you want to poke the bear? And here's the thing, you clearly are treating this as an investment, right? You don't care about the team that you own. Do you think that your team is appreciating in value when you continue to take away the pieces that are valued and you've diminished the team to like a bottom five team in baseball? You're buying a piece of history with the Boston Red Sox. You're the fifth or fourth worst team on paper. You're not probably supposed to have that value right now because you suck, but you do. The Boston Red Sox need a new owner so badly. I don't think there has been a cry for this much help since probably when the Clippers had their issue with their owner and he got in trouble for saying something inappropriate because his not his wife but like his 26-year-old model girlfriend like recorded because he didn't want her talking to people of a different color. Like John Henry's not going to be doing that, but this is like category 5 issue. Like we're there. We're having an issue. We need him gone. At this point, I don't know what it's going to take for Henry to be gone because it has run its course and then some. Henry needs to go.
You navigated that Donald Sterling thing so perfectly. I'd have been like, well, he lost his team because he got caught dropping N bombs because, his girlfriend was, you know, having relations with with those people. But anyway, um yeah. I don't think John Henry's gonna sell the team.
I don't think so either, which
I don't
sucks.
I don't think that's gonna happen. So what needs to happen is kick him out, throw him in the garbage. Not literally, but metaphorically. And put your smartest guy in charge. I don't know who that would be. Eddie Romero, maybe. I don't think it's going to be Theo at this point. I think in an emergency situation, if you thought you could contend, yeah, bring Theo in and let him navigate that. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna matter really at this point in terms of winning. I just don't think there's a pathway to winning. So put your smartest guy in charge. Maybe the phone will ring at some point in the coming weeks or few months. And, maybe it'll be someone credible. I keep going to the I'm drawing a blank. Derek Falvey was with the Twins the last several years, local guy, very credible, did a nice job with their pitching staff, got some decent bats, some not so good ones. The Correa thing obviously didn't work out. But yeah, is it Zach Scott? That was the other name. A guy who, most people are familiar with in Boston. That could be another possibility, but maybe somebody emerges that will be willing to do it. Presumably, they'll be able to hire their own manager. Hopefully, they'll have the blessing, ahead of time that you will be allowed to spend money up to a certain amount, beyond the first luxury tax threshold. Hopefully, you get a lot of money coming off the books. It's an attractive job, but they will need to be assured that this is their ship and they're going to make the decisions. They're going to hire their own staff. They're going to hire their own pitching gurus, their own hitting guys. Hopefully, Driveline will go away. I think that's the biggest change you can make, really, over anything. That's what needs to happen, and the sooner the better. Like, this is an emergency. Like, this is an emergency situation. You've got an executive that's already messed up your franchise in so many ways. All these kids just aren't panning out because of the hitting program, in part because of the philosophy. Marcelo Meyer tied the game tonight, gave the Red Sox life, and doesn't really have terrible numbers against lefties in a very tiny sample size this season. There's just so much that needs to change. And if you want to bring credibility back to Boston, you have to get rid of Breslow. You have to. And here's another interesting thing. Most chief baseball officers, which is the equivalent of president of baseball operations, Red Sox have to have a different title for some reason. He's the only one without a GM. He was gonna put Mike Grootman in that spot, but he got hired away by the Nationals. It's, I think, more likely that nobody wants to work for Craig Breslow. Who wants to work for someone who appears to be toxic as hell? Like, who wants that job? Maybe Breslow will ruin that guy's career.
We've ever had aggression, but you and I, we've had departments, companies, organizations, fields. People don't quit bad jobs. People quit bad bosses. There's a reason why no one's saying, yeah, sign me up to get my ass kicked by that douche. Like, it's just, nobody's going to do it. You're absolutely right. No one is saying, oh, yes, please hire me, Craig, so I can be one of your minions too. It's not going to happen. They need to clean house, top to bottom. Everybody needs to go. It feels like forever that Alex Cora, Jason Varitek, Peter Fatsi, all those guys were here. Andrew Bailey's still here. Pitching is going great. That's why he's here. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know how there's a fix to this other than what you just said. Henry needs to go, but he's not going to sell the team. So what do? Honestly, at this point, I'm up for anything. Breslow, though, he needs to go bye-bye. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. Every single game that we play where we score 2 or 3 runs, shake it. I'm good. I don't need to see that. It's a waste of 2.5 hours. They're talking about, oh, catch the Red Sox in 2 at midnight. Dude, that's still 2 hours too long to watch this product. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, they're taking bullets from all angles. Nobody's saying nice things, even their own TV network. And let's just stop pretending that Breslow knows how to do it. He doesn't know how to do it. So, before we get to the matchup, Connolly early pitched his ass off tonight, and he seemed pretty disappointed that he didn't get to come out for the 6th inning. I think he should have been disappointed. He was dealing. I think his pitch count was only around 85. I mean, they're pretty well stretched out now. I mean, he could throw 100 or 105 pitches, or at least until the first base runner gets on. I mean, at least give him that. But a little disappointed, but yeah. And then the crazy thing, which we should have talked about earlier on, the way the game ended, Yastrzemski's in there. He's a platoon guy at this point in his career. He only faces righties, but he came off the bench in his at bat previously, so he was still in the game. He had to face Samaniego. I still don't know the guy's first name, but our lefty reliever, who's done pretty well, gave up his first earned runs last night against the Phillies. But so it was a lefty-lefty matchup. He tried a couple of bunts, almost had a pretty good one. And then, it was a 1-2 count. So he had to swing for it, and he did. And he ripped a ball up the left field, left center gap, and the run came in, and it was a walk-off. I mean, it was just a crazy ending. And the half inning before, the Red Sox were up with Monasterio was the ghost runner. And I'm like, they've had runners in scoring position all night and they couldn't get him home. Why are they going to get Monasterio home? And they didn't.
You want to talk about an epic fail? Is someone trying to lay down a bunt? Not once, twice. And one of them, they almost messed up. Isaiah Connor's following the ball, like praying, like eyes open, please go foul. And it did. God, that it did. But then you've got 2 strikes on him. He fouls another pitch off, and then that rip into the outfield. What are we doing? Here we are. Lost ending to a game ever. And I'm gutted for Conley early because you know what? He should have pitched another inning. He's more consistent guys. He's only had one bad appearance. That guy you're talking about is Tyler Samaniego. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, Tyler. And before that, yesterday, first time allowing runs. He'd been almost perfect as far as runs allowed were concerned this year. And then yesterday and today, do I think he's done? No. But I do think that this team, like you mentioned, can't score runs in scoring position. This team is just absolutely atrocious. I love the Boston Red Sox. It's so hard to love this team because of what we're seeing on a night in and night out basis. Your pitchers can go out there absolutely dealing. Ranger Suarez dealt again. He has a 1.00 ERA over his last 36 innings. He should be 4-0. He's not 4-0. You want to check out his record? Go look it up. It's embarrassing to have a starter that goes 8 innings and finishes with a no decision. Conley early is the next Ranger Suarez. He's going to be going out there 5-6 innings, allowing 1 to 2 runs, and get absolutely slapped in the face. I'm gutted for the rookies that are pitching their, stones off here. Anything else you want to add?
Not really. Tomorrow we have Peyton Tolley against Bryce Elder. That's a 7:15 game. So that's on Fox then, I would think. Or I don't know. Yeah, I thought only Fox could have the 7:00 game, but
I don't know how that works. I don't know what the deals are. It's not, it's not Friday night, so we have to worry about Apple TV owning it, or Peacock having the game and whatnot.
Nesson has the game. Yeah. So that's interesting, but that's fine. Yeah. So Tolley versus Elder. When I saw this for a split second, I'm like, Bryce Elder. He's, he's a fringe starter, a career number 4 or 5 guy, gets optioned every now and then. He's got a 1.87 ERA. And just looking at his Savant chart here, he's got elite fastball run value, breaking run value. His expected batting average is one of the lowest in the league, 208. His expected earned run average, 2.91. Um, Punching guys out, hitters don't seem to be able to barrel the ball on him this year. Just really elite metrics in some key areas. So I don't know if the Red Sox are going to find something there. This will be a good test for Peyton Tolley. It's one of the more robust lineups that he'll have faced this year. So looks like kind of a fun matchup, but I can't pick the Red Sox to beat one of the best teams in baseball.
I'm with you, and not just because I said we're going to go 1-5 and just get our lips ripped off here, but you got Peyton Tolley who's getting an extra day of rest because we had the bye, or not the bye, but like the day off, whatever. So he's pitching on the 6th day. We had the day off. I still can't do it. I mean, you can't score runs for the guy, and Peyton Tolley allows 2. But I can't sit here and say that Bryce Elder, who's been ripping teams apart with a 1.81 or 1.87 ERA, is all of a sudden going to not do well. And even if Bryce Elder allows 4 runs, the Atlanta Braves can't score 5 against the Boston Red Sox. I think they could do it. So yeah, why wouldn't Bryce Elder and the Atlanta Braves win? Why not? We're the cupcake of the American League. We're the cupcake of baseball.
Yeah, that's it, and I apologize to cupcakes because they're delicious, but that is what we are. And I mean, you got the Royals next. They're not playing super great, but it's a pesky enough team. I'm not really thinking that's going to be a good matchup for us. So we'll see.
It's just a great time to be a Red Sox. You get to come on here and you just get to complain, and it's awesome. I can't say what I want to say, but like for those that are behind the scenes, they know what I'm thinking, and they're probably thinking the same thing. It sucks. Just you got to just laugh and remember the good times.
Yeah, and we have an off day on Thursday, so that fits good into my theory. And man, so maybe we'll see if it happens. We got the Twins right after. Just looking at June's schedule, it just seems like every series looks so bad. You've got the Orioles who have plenty of offense but no hitting. We'll see what happens. Then you've got 3 in the Bronx, 3 in the Trop. Then you've got the Texas Rangers at home. You've got the Blue Jays. I mean, 2 teams that could definitely knock you around a bit. Then we have our first West Coast swing where we go out and face the Mariners. Not looking forward to that. The Rockies have been pesky this year. I mean, they'll probably finish 4th or 5th, but we'll see what happens there. Then you have
that
the
pitcher.
Yankees.
Who was the pitcher? No, who was that made the comment to our former catcher? Who was
Yeah,
it? Was
Quantrill.
it was Quantrill. I thought he was a piece
Yeah.
of crap. I don't know where he's pitching. I hope he gets come back or rearranges his face a little bit. I thought that was such a piece of crap thing to do. Just shitty.
Especially since it was like 4 years after the fact. Like if it happened 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, okay, fine.
You're not tough, bro. Like you're hiding behind the rest of your team. You wouldn't have the stones to say that in Boston or New York. You're just a coward, little peasant child.
Yeah, I don't. Is he even playing for anyone this year? I'm pulling it up right now, but
I was curious if you're looking it up right now. I remember sitting there like you're not even good. You're not even mid. You're just trash.
he's actually with the Texas Rangers and doesn't appear to be that bad. He looks like he's like a long reliever because he only seems to pitch 3 innings or so, but yeah, screw him. Well, we'll see him apparently this
Exactly.
month. Not that we still have Reese McGuire. We're talking about the weird incident McGuire got caught in, and Quantrill 4 years later tried to
Yeah,
taunt
I know.
him
Real
during a
tough.
game.
Real tough move.
I didn't like him. Anyway, All right, we'll wrap on that, and Charlie, and I'm assuming Jeremy will be back on Sunday, or maybe it'll be Nick the Voice. Maybe it'll be 3. Who knows? Who knows? We've got 8 people on the
We'll
crew now,
surprise you.
so
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
yeah. So we'll check back in with you then after the Braves finale. Everyone